This is episode 99. Welcome back to First Generation Bowhunter. Got an interesting hunting situation that I wanted to share with you because I think it could help a lot of first time bow hunters who maybe having a hard time getting into distance to get a shot. And this is something I have seen happen multiple times in a certain area that I'm hunting. So buckle up because I think this is going to help you kill more animals for sure. All right, so let's dive into what is going on here because this is something that kind of surprised me with what the deer did that I'm pretty excited to share. So I was hunting this morning, an area that I hunt quite a bit, and on the see, I'm trying to get my directions. The west facing slopes. Temperatures were awesome. They've been dropping like crazy here in Utah. Thankfully, it's almost the end of November. It's wild. It's been a warm fall, winter, whatever you want to call this. And so I was up, and all the west faced sides there. There was tons of herds of deer, quite a bit. I was seeing probably got into about 3 herds of 5 or more. Awesome. I was so pumped. Well, I wanted to go up a lot higher and really see what else was up there because the bucks I was seeing were these really small bucks. Now I can shoot a doe, and quite honestly, if I was in distance, I'd probably just shoot a doe. I'm totally fine doing that. Well, because I only have a few more days left of our 3-month long season. It's pretty cool hunting here in Utah. It's first light morning, 6:30, 6:45, and I'm seeing all these deer, hanging on these west face slopes. Uh, the thing I mentioned to you is it's not that the deer in your area are going to be on west face slopes. The reason why I say that is these slopes are particularly interesting because I've hunted this place for many years, and generally in those areas, the deer have not been, much engaged in those areas. So it's kind of cool to see that the deer have kind of shifted a little bit of their trends. I mean, when I say I've never seen them on those west face slopes, I mean, I've really never seen them on those particular slopes. Uh, it's interesting to me. They have made some behavioral shifts, probably due to people getting more active in one of the areas. In fact, I know that's probably why there was a trail that was built about 4 years ago. The deer still kind of pass through that area. Yeah, they're really kind of checked out of that area. So it's not like a big surprise. I think what I'm trying to say is it's important to pay attention and what shifts and changes you've got to do. The other thing I noticed was how low they were. Again, when I say it's getting cold, it's like 38, 39. When it's 32, 34, that's when the deer are really up on their feet and super active. Again, it's an odd winter, fall. It's not as cold as I think most people would like it to be. I know I'd like it down in the low 30s. That's when deer are very, very active. So I'm walking up and I kind of on this top of the ridge line. And the way I like to hunt this area is I go up as high as I can or as I have time for to kind of see what else is going on, check out some other areas. But when I see deer as I'm passing on these west facing areas, I mean, unless I'm like, less than 100 yards and I can close that distance even more and I'm like pretty desperate, I'll take shots, I'll make moves. The thing that I really thought was cool was I just passed those areas. I passed probably 15 deer, and I'm just like, I'm going to just see if they're there when I get back. There was only one group that stayed when I got back about an hour and a half later. Here's what happened. So I'm at the top of the ridge, and with the naked eye, I see about 5 deer 250 yards away. It was only a group of 3 or 4, and I'm just kind of watching them and just kind of paying attention to like how they're acting, what direction they're heading. That's one thing that I've had to really learn and slow down is be patient with, is really paying attention to what they're doing, what they're hearing. Can they smell me? Can, all these little things that, we try to figure out. And I'm watching them and they are headed right towards me, but very, very slowly. And I'm like, all right, that kind of makes sense. Like they're kind of headed up. There's a little bit more sagebrush. There's a little bit more food that they can eat on if they head towards me. And I'm watching them and they really start to kind of shuffle and they're kind of like kicking up the pace. They're not eating anymore. They're really kind of playing, but they're kind of trotting towards me. I'm like, man, what's got them on the move? Like, this is odd. And this is an area, particularly these few draws that I'm looking, lots of coyotes, lots of predators. Well, I'm looking and I'm just kind of scanning the area and I see a trail runner. And he's probably, I should have got distance on him because that would have been really interesting to see what kind of distance he was from the deer and then what would have gotten them to kind of move. Shoot. Dang it. That would have been cool. All right. Something else for someone else to try. He's moving, but he's not headed totally towards them or direct at them. He's just starting to get in their airspace. I would guess he was probably 150 yards the other direction, across from me. Yeah, he was probably 150, 200. Well, he starts moving kind of my general direction, but not totally at them. Well, they start getting up and they are moving. Well, they didn't have any bucks with them. And I thought, man, if they had a really nice buck with them, like I would know right where I'd want to sit, right where I'd want to perch up. And I could just sit there and they would probably walk in on me. Well, it was a group of, did I say 3 or 4 deer? It was like 3 or 4 deer. And sure enough, they start walking towards me. But of course, I'm like, whatever. It's so early in the morning. It was early. It was probably 7, just after 7. I wanted to scope some more country. I wanted to see some more stuff. And there was a few draws that I hadn't really checked out before. And then also I'm got this like late season elk tag with rifle. And this is an area that I could possibly get an elk if they came through, which is very, very rare. Well, I get up, like, so I kind of leave that area. And my hypothesis was if I leave this area, I bet you anything they're going to be tucked in this little cove, this little draw. And I bet in about an hour, they're going to be right where I left them. Like they're going to head towards here and just bunker down. If nothing else really kind of disturbs the area, which this particular morning, as I'm recording this, this was a Monday morning. I had the whole place to myself. It was awesome. Sometimes not having a job is pretty amazing, which I can update you on the job front. There's really not much to update. No updates. So I had the whole place to myself except this trail runner who came from an entirely different position. He actually ran by me. We said hi. And let's see. So he bumped those deer and they were kind of working towards me. And then I get into another draw and run into a whole nother group of like 6 deer. Again, I think they had one really small forky buck with them. But the deer were absolutely out. And to update you on the Best Hunting Times app, I'm going to pull this up. Monday, November 24th, 2 out of 6 deer day. I don't believe it. No way. If I would have paid attention to this app, I would have missed out on so much deer activity. The major feeding period of this morning, of today, was 2:30 to 4:30 a.m. and the other major period was 3 to 5 p.m. The minor feeding period was 11 a.m. to noon, and then again at 8 to 9 p.m. So if I would have paid attention to that app, I would have missed out on, I think I counted 30, maybe 35 deer this morning. They were everywhere. They were everywhere. So I head up to this next little group. They're pretty far, probably 200 yards. I'm like, let me keep moving. I want to check out some other areas first. So I go and I'm sitting on this huge glassing area. It's this iconic place that a lot of hunters use. And I've sat here so many times. And sometimes it's just a good place to kind of take a load off. And I'm sitting there and you can kind of look down and see so much going on. It's really a cool spot. And just below that area, many times before, I've seen a lot of deer. And sure enough, I come up and I look over to my right, which is west, and I see a, little small group, 2 or 3 deer. Look to my left, to the east, I'm seeing, again, 2 or 3 kind of scattered. I'm like, all right, the deer are up and moving. This is cool. It's hard to make moves in this area on these deer as well because there's scrub oak. There's nothing to hide you. You're kind of like super exposed. It can be pretty tricky, but also be kind of fun too. Like I have made moves on deer before and you can get some shots. They're going to be longer shots. I think the shortest I've ever gotten to is like 60. Most of the time you're in that 70, 80. So I kind of sit for a bit and I'm like kind of getting comfortable and I'm like, this is cool. And I still have my backpack. Well, I have my bow on my pack. And all of a sudden I'm just sitting there and literally 30 yards away from me, 4 deer just like run past me. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I miss this? This is wild. And if something's coming in that close and I was aware of it, I would have taken a shot 100%. Wouldn't even have hesitated. I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool to get a buck, like a larger buck. But if not, I'm kind of shooting what's legal. And I really like doe. I'm a doe meat fan through and through. They bounced. I mean, they came through and were gone before I could even like capture what was happening. I was like, holy smokes. So I grabbed my bow super fast and I'm like, sweet, I'm going to go chase these deer. Yeah, I'm rolling my eyes if you're not watching the video of this podcast. Huge eye roll. It's like, it was kind of a rookie move, but I was like, oh, whatever. So I grabbed my bow, put an arrow in, and I'm chasing these deer, and they are like not giving me anything less than 150 yards. And it is wide open clearing, nothing to hide from. I'm like, So I go that way anyway, because I wanted to check out some areas, found even more deer, again, very, very far away. And I was kind of running out of time and I needed to go grocery shopping with my wife for Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is in 2 days, which by the way, I bought a wild turkey and it was local. Dude, sucker was expensive. Oh my gosh. I think we were in $85, but wild turkey is awesome. If you can ever hunt wild turkey, totally do it. And I hope you did this Thanksgiving. And all right. So I kind of like realize I can't just chase deer. So I come back, get to my backpack, grab some water, grab a snack. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start heading down. So my theory was if I head down, I bet that initial pack of deer, the herd, they were kind of spooked from the trail runner. They're going to be working up. I know right where they are. So crazy. I go back to that area and I'm like sneaky sneaks, taking off my pack, got an arrow loaded. I'm like, this crap's happening. This is totally happening. And there was a place where I could drop in on this bowl. And it was going to be sweet. And I've done this before, but when I got into position where the deer should be, I couldn't see the deer at all. Well, let me just skip to it. The deer were there. I just couldn't see them. and the herd went from like 4 up to 8. It was crazy. So I don't know what herd met up with who, but the herd get like doubled since probably an hour and a half prior. So I come around where I did see them. The problem with that was my shot distance was like 120. Freaking terrible. I was so bummed. I was like, shoot. And they'd already kind of seen me and were busting on me. What's interesting though, with a larger herd like that, they make more mistakes. And I feel like you have more time to actually like get a shot. And so I was able to actually close the distance. I got to about 85 and they started shuffling. I mean, it was sloppy. I was sloppy, but I was like, dude, I could do this. But with a larger herd like that, it's pretty surprising how they're kind of like bumping into each other almost like, huh, what? Oh, are we moving now? Like, oh, I just want to stay here. It's almost like they argue like teenagers, like, oh, is it time to go? Oh, I don't want to go yet. Like, it's interesting to watch. But when you've just got like one or two deer, or maybe three or four, I mean, they bust out. Like I've done that many times. So it was really cool to see the different behavior. But the main thing I wanted to share with you about this story is, man, if you got like a gut feeling, like I bet these deer are going to be here, I would lean into that. I would try it. Now, if I was really desperate, and we always do this, like if I coulda, shoulda, woulda, you know, if I was really desperate and didn't want to go and, you know, check out some other areas, and I had some other things I wanted to do, I could have plopped my butt down. I know right where I would have done it. And I want to try it with my son now because they love this little cove. Like it's interesting. The other thing that's really interesting is it's happening. The activity is happening from 9 to 10 a.m., which is wild. So you got to be in position definitely at like 7:30. And I think it could be done. But this is a cool thing that we all need to learn is like, do I let them come in and not bother them? Do I go and sit and wait for them to come to me? I mean, they came, I know right where I was sat, and it would have been like a 40-yard shot. And I think if I could have been still, the wind would have been perfect, you know, not carried my scent to them. It could have been sweet. So it was a cool experience. I did take a shot or two or three or four. I took 4 shots. I like unloaded my quiver. What was crazy was I shoot and they kind of, you know, get shaken up, but they didn't go very far. It was crazy. So like I kept getting like these really solid open shots, broadside, everything. But I was probably a little tired, probably a little like excited, and couldn't get it done. But my favorite line is, let's see, what is it? An empty quiver, if you don't empty your quiver, you won't deliver, or something. An empty quiver doesn't, messing it up. I did recover one of my arrows, which is great. I still have 3 out there, but that's why we go back. It's fun to go like treasure hunting, go find your arrows. So that's what I wanted to share with you is really pay attention to what deer are naturally doing. In this case, they got bumped, but I believe if they hadn't gotten bumped, they would have gone there anyway, because about 2 weeks ago, I saw them and they're all huddled in that area. And there's a chance that I may have taken a shot on them already in that area. So it's crazy. They keep coming back to that area. I keep missing shots. It's a whole lot of fun. I just wanted to share this. If you're, you know, seeing certain patterns or activity in your wild out west, you know, doing big game, those patterns, sometimes I don't believe in the patterns because I'll go to the same place or I'll try to be, you know, thoughtful of what they're doing and how I could like replicate that of them coming back. And after a few times that it doesn't happen, you're kind of like, screw patterns. Deer don't have patterns. This is awful. But in this particular case, it was really cool to go see some other stuff for about an hour, kind of let them come in. The other thing I would have done different when I came back, I I could have gotten into at least 60 if I would have dipped in just a little bit deeper when I initially went in to go look for them, but I couldn't find them. When I backed out, that's what hosed me. I mean, I doubled my distance, which really stunk. So I should have gone with my instinct a little bit more. Like, I know they're in here. It wouldn't have hurt anything. Worst thing would have happened is I would have had a way closer shot than I did at freaking, starting at 120 and trying to get down to 80, 85. But I pass those learnings on to you, and it just goes to show that even though I've killed a few deer and I've done this a few times, I'm still learning. I'm still figuring things out. But it's a whole lot of fun. I think if you're, I was telling, we were talking to a couple at church yesterday, and there was another, the wife of the other husband was like, yeah, my husband had this big elk hunt and he didn't tag out and he was super upset about it. And so she got him like a stuffed elk or something as like a gag gift. And I remember those days. And my wife said, yeah, my husband used to get so upset if he like didn't see a deer or missed a shot or, wasn't tagging out. He would get so upset. And I remember those years. I mean, there was whole seasons that I barely even saw deer. I was just not going out enough. I was in the wrong place. It was a trying time, honestly. But that's how we learn. That's how we get better. It's a great time. I hope you much luck towards this kind of getting to the end of the season. Believe in patterns. They are real. Patterns are legit. Don't not believe in them. Deer especially. Elk, it's a whole nother thing. And yeah, I'll have to share more on our recent elk hunt and hopefully be tagging out soon. But I do have some elk hanging in the garage from our recent hunt, and I am shooting for a 12-day aging. I'm on probably day 8 now of hanging, and it looks awesome. It is so cool. I love hanging wild game. It is the greatest. And thank heavens for cold temperatures because I can do it in my garage. I'm not mucking up my fridge. It's awesome. Well, this has been episode 99 of First Generation Bowhunter. Thanks for tuning in. I'd really appreciate some feedback. If you have any questions or things that you're kind of scratching your head on, I do get questions and I do try to cover those, but I haven't gotten any in a while. So if you want to drop me a line, I am on LinkedIn. I'm like holding my bow. It's under Adam Buchanan. And I am on Instagram, Adam_Buchanan. Drop me a question. Maybe you're thinking about getting a new bow. Maybe you're wondering a different arrow to try. Let me know. And also, if you're local here in Utah, I do have some arrows for sale if you want to drop me a line. And even if you're not local, I'm happy to ship them. No problem. I've got a little bit of surplus of arrows. And just let me know your spine, your length, what you'd be looking at, and we can work out a deal. I'd love to help you out and kind of add some more to your quiver. And yeah, get those shipped out for you. So check in with me. Let me know what else you've got going on, what hunts you're wrapping up with this season. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.